Trivia question. Who do you think had the most victories of any Jewish pitcher in baseball history? Well, Sandy Koufax comes to mind, but that's not the answer. Koufax did have the most strikeouts, but the Jewish pitcher who has the most victories in baseball history is Kenny Holtzman. Left-handed pitcher from St. Louis, Missouri. He pitched most of his career with the Chicago Cubs, authored 2 no-hitters, and then was traded to the Oakland A's just as the Oakland A's began their 3-year championship run, and he was a big part in that. His numbers are comparable in some years with Catfish Hunter, but he didn't get any Cy Young Award votes or any MVP votes as well. But he was a solid part of the Oakland A's championship teams. He and the 1973 Oakland A's are going to get their crack at the current Kings of the Hill, 1969 Baltimore Orioles, trying to win their 5th game in a row. This is Apba Baseball Classics, where yesterday's stars performed through cards and dice, classic games on our tabletops. Here's the starting lineups for today's game. First, for the Oakland A's, Billy North, Campy Campaneris, and Reggie Jackson. Sal Bando, Joe Rudy, and Darren Johnson. Gene Tennis, Dick Green, and Ken Holtzman on the mound. For the Orioles, Paul Blair, Don Buford, and Frank Robinson. Boog Powell, Davey Johnson, Brooks Robinson, Andy Etchebarren, Mark Belanger, and Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer is a grade A wide pitcher. Actually, as grade as 16. We're using the Merino boards. And Ken Holtzman is a grade 15 Y and Z modifiers. Billy North steps into the box for Oakland. He is an addition to the A's lineup in 1973. Took over in center field, hit .285 and stole 53 bases. We're going to use 6 dice today. I read them in red, white, and blue order, and then purple, yellow, and green. All right, so 4-3 is the roll to Billy North. That's a comebacker back to Palmer. Throw to Boog Powell first, 1 away. Here's Campy Campaneris. His roll is a 1-6, and that's a ground ball to shortstop. Mark Belanger picks up that grounder and throws to Boog Powell. 2 outs. Reggie Jackson, .293 hitter with 32 home runs in 73. He had a better year in 73 than he did in 72. He rolls a 6-4, and that's a base on balls. Sal Bando comes up to the plate. I watched him as he came up with the Kansas City A's. He had thick legs, and I was always impressed by that. A lot of power. Palmer goes into a stretch. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sal Bando strikes out, and the A's are done in the top of the first inning. Go to the bottom of the first, no score. Paul Bear is 3 for 15 with a double in this project. Some of the Oriole hitters are scuffling. Their pitching has been carrying them through this project. Blair rolls a 6-2, and that's a ground ball to second base. Dick Green has it and throws to Darren Johnson at first. 1 down. Don Buford rolls a 5-2, and that's a ground ball to third base. Sal Bando throws to first. 2 outs. We got 2 good defensive third basemen. Of course, Brooks Robinson with the Orioles, and then Bando is a Apba-rated 5 third baseman. For the A's, Frank Robinson comes to bat. Frank Robbie is 3 for 14, but he has 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. He rolls a 4-3, and that's a roller back to Holtzman, who throws the first. 3 groundouts, and the Orioles are put down in the first. We go on top of the second. No score. Jim Palmer, in his first outing in this project, beat the 67 Red Sox 3-2. Joe Rudy steps into the box for Oakland. 3-5 is a 40. Swing and a foul straight back to the screen. 5-1 is the next roll. That's a 9. Joe Rudy lifts a fly ball to center field. It's caught by Paul Blair. One gone. Here is Darren Johnson, former Cincinnati Red. He rolls a 3-3 roll. That's a hit column roll. 21 is going to be a ball driven to the alley in left field. It's going to go to the wall, and Darren Johnson settles in to second base with a double. All right, Johnson is a slow runner. And let's see, there's one out. I'm not going to play it safe at second base. I'm going to take a chance with him. Brings up Gene Tennis, the A's catcher. Palmer goes into the stretch. Here's the pitch. There's a drive. It might be. It could be. It is out of here, a 2-run home run by Gene Tennis. The Athletics go on top 2-0. That drive by Tennis brings back memories of the 1972 World Series, which were his first 2 at-bats. He hit home runs and helped the A's win Game 1, 3-2. He was the 1972 World Series MVP. Dick Green comes to bat. Green rolls a 6-3, which is a fly out to center field. 2 outs. I'll need another dice roll for the pitcher, Kenny Holtzman. Holtzman rolls a 2-6, and that's a base on balls. Palmer, I guess shaken by the turn of events, walks the pitcher. Billy North. North rolls a 1-2, and that's a ground ball to second base. Davey Johnson throws to first. 3 outs, but on 2 hits. The A's get 2 runs on Gene Tennis's home run. They lead 2-0. All right, the Orioles come up in the bottom of the second inning down by 2 runs. They're not unfamiliar with this position. They have had to come from behind in 2 of their 4 wins. Boog Powell leads off for Baltimore. Boog Powell hits a ground ball to third base. Sal Bando scoops and throws to Darren Johnson at first. 1 gone. Here is Davey Johnson. His roll is a 3-5, and that's a base on balls. Davey Johnson becomes Baltimore's first base runner. Brooks Robinson, he's having a good project. Brooks is 3 for 13. Not great there, but his grand slam won one of the games. The pitch to Brooksy is a 5-5. That's an 8. Right, that result has a Y next to it. Robinson's an 83 against lefties, column 18. Sends us to 29, and that's got a Y for a strikeout. Andy Etchebarren, who has really struggled mightily, but the other 2 catchers, Ellie Hendricks and Clay Dalrymple, are negative 77s against left-handed pitchers, so he's in the lineup again today. But Etchebarren is still looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 12. He rolls a 4-5, and that's going to be a 2 balls and no strikes. Next roll is a 3-1, which is another 14. That's a walk the hard way. Etchebarren takes first. Here's Mark Belanger, 287 hitter. Holtzman is going to intentionally walk Belanger. So he's walked the bases loaded to pitch to the pitcher, Jim Palmer. Palmer rolls a 6-1. That's a swing and a miss for strike 3. 3 walks in the inning, but all 3 are stranded. We go to the top of the third, 2-0 Oakland. All right, essentially this A's lineup has 2 leadoff hitters, Billy North and Campy Campaneris at the top of their lineup. Campaneris stole 34 bases. North stole 53. Here's Bert Campaneris to start the third inning. 1-1 roll for Campy Campaneris. 6-3 is a leadoff double. Campanera starts the third in scoring position. Here is Reggie Jackson. Jackson rolls a 5-3. Reggie Jackson hits the fly ball to right field. It is misplayed by Frank Robinson. E9. Campanera scores from second. No RBI, but the Athletics take a 3-0 advantage over the Orioles. Let's see if Jackson went to second. No, Jackson holds it first. D28 stealing. Sal Bando rolls a 45, which is a 14. That's going to be a base on balls. First three A's have reached in the third inning. Palmer's in some trouble here. Joe Rudy's the batter. 270 with 12 homers. Joe Rudy rolls a 3-4, and that's a fly out to center field with the runners holding. Darren Johnson 1-6 roll as a ground out to shortstop. Belanger's a fielding column 1, and that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. 1 run on 1 hit, 2 left. Well, actually 1 left. We're at the bottom of the third inning, Oakland 3 and Baltimore nothing. Orioles loaded the bases in the second inning, but they didn't score. They're top of the order now. Paul Blair leads off. Blair rolls a 4-6, which is a comebacker back to Holtzman. Throws to first. Blair is 0 for 2. Don Buford. Buford rolls a 2-6, and that's a ground ball to Sal Bando at third. Throws across the diamond. 2 gone, and now Frank Robinson, who wants to atone for that error he made in right field that led to a unearned run. His role is a play result 24, and that's a ground ball to shortstop Campy Campaneris to throw to first. 3 ground outs, 3 outs. With the fourth, it's 3-0 Oakland. Gene Tennis, who homered his first time up, will lead off. He homered, as I said, the first 2 at-bats of the 72 World Series. He had a great series and was the 72 World Series MVP. Pitch from Palmer to Gene Tennis. 5-2 is the roll, and that's going to be a ground ball to Brooks Robbie at third. Throws out Gene Tennis, 1 out. Dick Green. Green rolls a 1-2, and that's hit to the right side. Fielded by Davey Johnson. 2 outs. Pitcher Ken Holtzman rolls a 6-3, and it's a fly out to right field. 3 up and 3 down for the A's. They still lead by 3, bottom of the fourth. All right, Boog Powell leads off the bottom of the fourth inning. He had 3 games in his career where he had 3 home runs in those games. Also had a double hitter in 1966 when he had 11 RBIs. Right here, the Orioles need base runners. He's probably just looking to get on base somehow, some way. 3-6 is a base on balls, and there he does it. Draws a walk with patience. We'll play it safe with Powell at first base. Davey Johnson's a batter. He rolls a 2-6, which is a fly ball lifted to right field. Reggie Jackson is under it, and Reggie makes the catch. Here's Brooks Robinson. Robinson hits a ground ball to shortstop, Campaneris to Green, over to Darren Johnson at first. 6-4-3, double play. And that ends the fourth inning. We go to the top of the fifth. 3-0 Oakland. All right, Billy North leads off the top of the fifth. He rolled out to second base in his first at-bat. This time he hits a roller to Mark Belanger at shortstop. Quick throw to first. Billy North is just barely nipped at first for the first out. Campy Campaneris rolls a 23. And that is going to be an error on the pitcher. Jim Palmer commits the second Baltimore error. That's an interesting result. 23 has column 1 or fielding column 3 rather, is an error. If you have a 2 pitcher, it goes to 1. There are no 3 rated pitchers, so there really shouldn't even be anything there. So 1 out, 1 on. Here's Reggie Jackson. Palmer gets a sign. Here's the smooth delivery. Pitches outside for ball 4. Reggie Jackson draws a walk. Palmer's troubles here in the 5th inning are self-induced with the error on the walk. Here's Sal Bando. Bando rolls a 4-4, and that's going to be a 7. Base hit for Bando. That's going to score Campy Campaneris. Jackson goes to 3rd. RBI single for Sal Bando, and the A's take a 4-0 advantage. Orioles will play the infield back. Let's see. Joe Rudy rolls a 5-3. That's a 16. Rudy skies a fly ball to center field. That's going to test the center fielder. If the roll to see how deep it is. It's going to be 35. Jackson's speed is 17, so that goes to 52. We'll subtract Paul Blair's arm from 52. Blair's arm is 36, so that's 16. That's about not much chance to score. 16 would be 11 through 34. Not even half a chance. He's going to hold, not deep enough for the fly ball. Unproductive out by Joe Rudy. There's 2 gone. And now Darren Johnson. Johnson rolls a 1-3, which is a 14, and a base on balls. Long inning for Jim Palmer. A's have him loaded for Gene Tennis. I'll need a new dice roll. There's the pitch to Gene Tennis. He rolls a 1-6, and that's going to be a ground out to shortstop Mark Belanger. 3rd out in the inning. The Athletics leave the bases loaded, but they score a run on 1 hit. We're halfway through. The A's 4 and the Orioles nothing. A lot of pressure on the Orioles to win this game. They're 4-0. If they finish 4-1, their run differential is not high enough. They're at +8 to get them into the 2nd position. The 35 Pittsburgh Crawfords are in 2nd place in this tournament with a +14 run differential, and Baltimore's at only a +8. So if they go down, they're not going to beat that +14. The 1st place team is the 63 Dodgers, who went 5-1. Their run differential is +13. Andy Etchebarren will lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for his Orioles. They're down by 4 runs. There's a delivery from Ken Holtzman. 6-3 is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Etchebarren still looking for his first hit in this project. Mark Belanger rolls a 5-3. Ground ball to a hole just beyond the reach of Campy Campaneris. That's a base hit for Mark Belanger. All right, we're going to see the end of Jim Palmer's day. The Orioles need to take advantage of every offensive opportunity they have. They're down by 4 runs. Dave Leonard is throwing in the bullpens, and Chico Salmon grabs a bat off the bench, and he is going to hit for Jim Palmer. Change of gears here. Not Salmon. It's going to be Merv Redmond. Salmon's splits were not very good. Redmond is a +4 against left-handed pitchers, so Holtzman's an 11 pitching to Redmond. Redmond rolls a 25, and that's a ground ball to Davey Johnson at second base, who throws a short over to first for 6-3. Inning-ending double play. We go to the top of the 6th. 4-0 Oakland. All right, Dave Leonard is the new pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. He is a right-hander. 2.49 earned run average. Will be using his relief grade, which is a B or 14. Dick Green steps into the box for Oakland. He rolls a 3-5. That pitch is high for ball one. Next roll is a 4-2, and that is a ground ball to third base, thrown out by Brooks Robinson. Green is 0 for 3. Here's Kenny Holtzman. He rolls a 1-3, and that's a base on balls. Second time Kenny Holtzman's drawn a walk. Billy North is the batter. He rolls that's a ground ball to shortstop Belanger, who flips to Davy Johnson at second for the out there. Fielder's choice for Billy North. 2 gone. North is a C28 stealing. Chances to steal second are 11 through 54. There goes Billy North. The roll is 65, and he is cut down stealing. Etchebarren throws out North. 2-4 for the third out. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 4-0 Oakland. All right, Ken Holtzman has had the Orioles by the throat. He's allowed only 1 hit through 5 innings. He has walked four batters. One intentionally, though. Paul Black comes up. He rolls a 6-3, and that's a fly ball hit to center field. Billy North is under it and makes the catch. Don Buford rolls a 3-5. That's another base on balls. The 5th walk given up by Kenny Holtzman. Here's Frank Robbie. He rolls a 3-5. That's 2 balls and no strikes. The next roll is a 6-1. 42, that's a hit batter. No surprise here, Frank Robinson crowds that plate big time. First and second. Boog Powell. All right, the Orioles have their base runners. Power coming up. 8 on column 19 because he's -4 plus 15. That's going to be a pop-up on the infield. Calling for it is the second baseman, Dick Green. He makes the catch on productive out. Davy Johnson, only 7 home runs in 59. When Davy Johnson rolls one to second base, Dick Green picks it up and throws to first. 3 outs. Top of the 7th inning. It's the A's 4 and the Orioles 3. The Orioles have had base runners on. They had the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. Now 2 on in the 6th. They can't get them home. Right, pitcher Dave Leonard's going to throw the 7th inning. This is his point of fatigue inning. He's using his relief rating. And he's in his 2nd inning of work. Campy Campaneris rolls a 3-1, which is a base on balls. Yeah, it's been a tight strike zone in this game. 5 walks surrendered by the Oriole pitching, 6 walks surrendered by the A's. Or no, actually the other way around. Campaneris is at first. He is for stealing D30. Oakland has already tested catcher Andy Etchebarren, and he came up short. They're going to go 11 through 56. He'll be safe. And the roll is 64. Etchebarren shines again, throws out Campaneris. 2-6. And how often can you say you threw out Billy North and Campy Campaneris in the same game? All right, the next pitch to Reggie Jackson is a 1-5. That's going to be an 11. Base hit for Jackson. He's not going to steal. You'd have a good chance of being safe, but Etchebarren's been hot. All right, Sal Bando's the batter. 1 gone, 1 on. The pitch to Bando is a swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 outs. Joe Rudy rolls a 4-5. That's going to be a base on balls. And that's 3 marks against Dave Leonard's fatigue. His grade goes down to 9. Let's see if he can get out of the inning here. He's pitching to Darren Johnson. Darren Johnson hits a ground ball to the shortstop. Mark Belanger throws the first. That's the end of the inning. We go to the bottom of the seventh. Oakland 4, Baltimore nothing. Seventh inning stretch time here in Baltimore. All right, Kenny Holtzman's working on a one-hitter. It's not been pretty. He's given up 5 walks. The A's have committed, well, they have committed no errors. The O's have committed 2. Brooks Robinson leads off the bottom of the seventh inning. He rolls a 6-3, and that's a fly ball to Billy North in center field. 1 out. Outs are getting precious to the Orioles. They've only got 5 to work with. Etchebarren rolls a 3-1. That's a base on balls. The strike zone remains still tight. Here's Mark Belanger. Belanger rolls a 6-4. Lefty Holtzman checks the runner. The throw to first. Belanger is picked off. That's a huge mistake by the Orioles. They need base runners. Next roll is a 6-5, and that's a pop-up behind home plate. Gene Tennis is under it, makes the catch. 3 outs. We go to the top of the 8th, still 4-0 Oakland. New pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles is Dick Hall. 5-2, 1.92 earned run average. He is a right-hander, and he'll be facing 3 right-handers for the A's: Gene Tennis, Dick Green, and pitcher Ken Holtzman. Gene Tennis is 1 for 3. He homered in the second inning. He rolls a 3-4, which is a fly ball to center field, caught by Paul Blair. 1 out. Here's Greeny, Dick Green. 4-1 is a roll, and that's a ground ball to shortstop Mark Belanger. Throws the first, 2 outs. Kenny Holtzman. He flies out to right field. Bottom of the 8th, Oakland 4, Baltimore nothing. All right, Kurt Monton will lead off as a pinch hitter batting for the pitcher. Pete Reichert is warming up in the Oriole bullpen. He'll pitch the 9th inning. Monton is a +11 against lefties, a 300 hitter in 1969. Pitch from Kenny Holtzman is a 4-4, and that's an 8. It's a pitch hit, base hit for Kurt Monton. That means there's 2 marks now against the fatigue of Kenny Holtzman. Paul Blair is the batter. Monton's fast at first base. Activity in Oakland's bullpen. Oakland closer Raleigh Fingers is loosening up in the bullpen. Let's see, Paul Blair is the hitter, 1 out and 1 on. His roll is a 3-5. That's a 9 on column 17, and that's almost a hit. Ground ball to shortstop. At 28 is grounder to shortstop. It's a fielder's choice. So Blair is the runner at first. Score at 6-4. Don Buford rolls a 1-2, and that's a ground out to second base. Only this time it's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Turned by Green, Campaneris, and Johnson. And that kills the Oriole threat in the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. 4-0 Oakland. Fingers is still warming in the bullpen, although at a slower pace. He might be coming in to pitch the 9th inning. Billy North leads off for Oakland in the 9th, up by 4 runs. 2-3 is a ground ball to third base. Brooks Robinson, the human vacuum cleaner, throws the first. 1 out. Cappy Campaneris rolls a 2-3, and that's a ground ball to Davy Johnson at second base for the 2nd out. And Reggie Jackson rolls a 5-2, and that's a ground ball to Brooks Robinson at third. 3 outs. It's the last of the 9th. Oakland 4, Baltimore nothing. All right, Raleigh Fingers sits down. It's going to be Kenny Holtzman's game. He is pitching a 2-hitter. He has 2 marks against his fatigue. Let's see if he can get through the 9th. Frank Robinson will lead off. followed by Boog Powell and Davy Johnson. Frank Robinson rolls a 4-1. That's hit on the ground to the shortstop. Kempe Campaneris throws the first, 1 out, 2 to go. Here is Boog Powell. Powell pops it up near the dugout. Giving chase is the catcher, Gene Tennis. He makes the catch. 2 outs. Davy Johnson. Johnson rolls a 2-3. Hit on the ground to third base. Sal Bando is up with it, throws to the first. That's the ball game. We have a new king of the hill. Final score, the 73 A's 4, 69 Orioles nothing. We'll be back in a second with a line score. Here is your line score for game number 80 in the King of the Hill tournament. Oakland had 4 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The Orioles had no runs on 2 hits and 2 errors. Ken Holtzman's the winning pitcher. He pitched a shutout, a 2-hit shutout. And Jim Palmer takes the loss. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs allowed. Gene Tennis hit the key blow in this game offensively with a 2-run home run in the second inning. That was enough for the A's today. The 1969 Baltimore Orioles fall to 4th place. Sorry for hitting the camera. They fall to 4th place in this tournament. You've got 1963 Dodgers 5-1 plus 13. The 1935 Pittsburgh Crawfords are 4-1 plus 14 run differential. 38 Yankees are 4-1 plus 11. And so the Orioles are tied in 4th place with the 32 Yankees 4-1 plus 4. Next game will be the 1975 Boston Red Sox will go to Oakland. They'll face a 20-game winner in Vida Blue. Boston will be at the 3rd spot in the pitching rotation. Hope you enjoyed this game. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and may God bless.